Hi everybody and welcome to our CYBEX Live Event right out of our wonderful, beautiful looking showroom here in Bayreuth, Germany. And next to me I have the expert in child safety car seats, Bernhard. By the way, my name is Marvin before I forget, but Bernhard, nice to have you.
Good to see you, Marvin, and good to have you all out there.
Yes, good to have you in that live event. So we are still waiting a couple more seconds for all of you to join this event, but most important is we are trying to make that as interactive as possible. So sit yourself down, enjoy the show, grab maybe some snacks and some drinks, and provide already your keyboard to ask some questions. Because what you can't see, but we can see, is behind the camera, we have even more experts to answer all the questions you may have. So feel free to ask your questions via the chat functionality. We will answer them, and we will bring some of them in front to us to answer them directly towards you. So what are we going to talk today? We talk about our Solution T iFix. Where does this journey come from, or where is this category be placed? It's fairly simple. We start our journey with an infant car seat, for example what we have over here with the CloudSet 2. We are growing over the Anoris T iSize, a beautiful product. We have already talked about this in the previous event, and a lot of you guys used the chat functionality, so that was really cool to see and to answer all your questions. And right after, we come over to the last category car seat, which is our Solution T iFix. And it's also kind of emotional and a little bit of history to that wonderful product, because when CYBEX was founded, the very first product ever was already a solution category car seat. And now we have it with all the new features, but one mandatory thing. Since the very first one, we have the main feature still in this product, which is the patented reclining headrest. What it is for? What is it for?
Yes, exactly, Marvin. You're absolutely right. So the patented reclining headrest has been there ever since. Back then, it was the solution that was given to a problem that was observed in the market, and it's still out there. The same problem many parents face is during longer journeys, the children fall asleep and the head eventually tips forward.
Absolutely.
Which not only looks awkward, but could also be a safety hazard in case of an accident. But maybe we should show how it works first of all.
Yes, it's fairly simple. So we have the patented reclining headrest, as the name is already giving us, on top here where the head is located. So to activate it, you only need to lift the headrest a little bit up, and then we have 3 positions to recline it to the very last stage. Why do we need this? So where is it just comfort? Is it safety? What is this feature for?
Basically, it's for safety. So if the head stays within the safety zone, everybody can imagine that it's safer. So what happens if the head falls backwards and there's a side crash? The whole system of LSP, side wing, headrest can actually work and do their job and protect the child.
Yeah.
Whereas when the head is tipping forward outside the safety zone, we have much worse safety values. And we also have prepared a nice video for that. Maybe
let's have a look.
We could see that and walk you through the functionality. Yes. So what you see here, there's a side impact. We have a split screen. On the top, you will see what happens if the head is outside the safety zone. In the lower section, you see what happens if it's inside. We run the video multiple times so you can take your time to look at it. Now here is how the reclining headrest works. So it reclines and the head stays behind in the safety zone. Let's look at it again. So if the head is outside, there's basically no protection between the impact and the head. Whereas in the lower section, you can see that it's really absorbing everything. Yes. And the reclining headrest is really reclining that far and makes that happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can stop the video here.
Yes, we can stop the video. Let's go back, have a look at the product, and let me give you some, more or less an own story that I just recognized a couple of weeks ago. So that was Easter celebration, and obviously for the little ones, it's a long day. There's a lot of happening. They are tired because they have seen so much. There were surprises, a lot of family time. So we went back into the car, and I have 2 little kids in the age of 4 and 6. And we went into the car, and yes, it was my fault. For my son, I have forgotten to recline the headrest, but for my daughter, I did. And exactly what we have seen in the video and you explained happened to them. So my son was tilting towards the front and also felt like that can't be really comfortable. It's not only not safe, it's also maybe not really comfortable for you. And my daughter, as it was completely reclined, she felt towards the back, she rested, she was in the safety zone, and she felt comfortable. So exactly what you have explained. But by the way, guys, I just hear that we received a question. So thanks to Cornelia, nice to have you in that call. So guys, use the chat functionality. We are more than happy to answer all of your questions. We have experts, you can't see them, they are behind the camera in the chat room answering any relevant question coming in there. So Cornelia wanted to know, what is the new about the Solution T iFix compared to the previous version?
Okay, that is a good question, and we have all the answers. It's kind of disruptive to our storyline here. I don't know if I should spoil all the features.
We spoil it right away.
Right away. The question came, we have to answer.
Yes.
So basically, first of all, it's in a completely new design.
Yeah.
The whole workmanship is so much better than the predecessor, which was a really an outstanding product. But next to that, of course, safety plays a big game here.
Yeah.
And we have improved the LSP system, which we will talk about more detail in a minute. And the next thing we also introduced here is the whole topic of breathability, which is one of the, let's say, remaining next to safety comfort issues that many people face during a longer ride, is the development of heat and sweat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is the summary, and this is basically what was not there in the predecessor.
Yeah. Good question, Cornelia. Thanks for that. Again, guys, use the chat functionality. I hope you answered your question. If not, let us know. So, as already mentioned, this question was kind of tricky because it already brings us to all the different topics we wanted to talk about. But Cornelia, thanks for reminding us. So, as we already have seen, and you already stressed it out with mentioning what Cornelia wanted to know, is the safety level that we bring to that wonderful car seat. We have already learned with the patented reclining headrest, it's not only about comfort, this is a big safety topic for any kind of sidle crash. But on top of that, we also have a so-called LSP, linear side protection system. Bernhard, what does it mean? How can you activate it? What do I need to do?
Yes, so we have the linear side impact protection system in all of our car seats because we know a side crash is very critical. You have very little crumble zone next to you.
Yeah.
If some object comes from the side, therefore it's to be taken care of with a special focus.
Yeah.
So the LSP is not only that part, but it starts here. You make a very early contact with the intruding door in this case, and with the side wing and the headrest really absorb a lot of the energy and take it away from the child, basically.
Yeah.
Now what is different in this product, this LSP, for the Solution T iFix versus predecessors or other models. So it comes out of the box open. So no need to think about it, no installation needed. It's cool. Right there where you need it.
Yeah.
And if you need the space, for example, on the middle seat, or if you have a tight fit in your car on the, let's say, door side, you can fold it away very easily with a double action, sliding back and pushing in, and activate it again very conveniently with just one press.
That makes it even easier for you out there receiving that product and to activate something like this. As you already mentioned, and this is something we are always working on in CYBEX, is to find out what you could need and how can we make it easy for you so that there are not any misuse using safety topics as we have in our solution. So for example, as you said, you can activate and deactivate this. That's also the reason for space in car, as you mentioned.
Exactly, because there's another feature in that seat. It's the integrated height and width.
Yeah.
Maybe a nice bridge to the next feature.
Absolutely.
And of course, if the seat grows in width,
yeah.
you might also need extra space at a later stage.
Yeah.
And just remember, this seat carries you through 9 years of use.
It's a long time of usage.
I just took my big one, my big son, out of that seat.
Yeah.
And he had used it really for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he really made use of all the width that was there. Because children don't grow only in height, right?
No.
They also develop some shoulders.
Absolutely. Before we show that, one thing for the LSP, as it is always in the car seat and you can activate and deactivate it. I mean, we know the scenario. We are fathers, right? We have pretty much the kiddos in that age right now. So there are maybe soccer teams or soccer trainings they want to go to, or to meet some friends, or maybe the grandparents want to take them. That means you deinstall this out of your car and you bring it into another. But maybe they don't install it on the same position as you did. So that means if you have an LSP or a side protection which you detach and store somewhere else, that you have completely forgotten to bring it back into position. Exactly. But having it always integrated means you always have it with you. only press the button and activate. But let's show the next feature you already mentioned,
yes.
is the growth. And that makes it so cool because that's pretty much the last car seat. And we are talking about a car seat starting from 100 centimeter, 105, 3-4 years of age, up to 12. And we have in that total 12 positions. So for only, let's say 50 centimeter, 12 different positions means for you and your kids, we can grow with them in each and every stage. How do we trigger that? Fairly simple. Maybe I can ask a cameraman to come a bit closer so that you can see that wonderful topic as well. And that's also easy to adjust whenever it is in the car. So you don't need to deinstall. I just turned it around for you guys to have a better view. The button is over here, so whenever you have it in car, you just slide down, you press the button, and then you grow in 12 positions into the height. And as you can see, into the width as well.
Here it becomes quite obvious really that it grows 8 centimeters in width total.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, you really need that space to have a comfortable ride.
Yes, to have the comfort for the kids, not only the safetiness that we already showed you, no, this is also giving you the comfort level. So you might look at this car seat in that stage when they are 100, 105 centimeters. So this is where you try the first time, how does your little one fit in there? And then you figure out, yeah, it looks quite cool. We already thought about what happens if they are 11, 12 years. Let's grow into the width as well, not only the height, because we know that they need this space and comfort, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's really a cool platinum feature for our platinum range of products.
Yes.
Not all the products have it, but it's so good to have it.
It's really good to have.
I really enjoyed the time.
I can already see, I think there are some questions coming in.
Questions
2
coming
in total, that's perfect.
Okay, we take 2, no problem.
Thank you very much for that. So the first one coming from Mats, thank you for that. Nice to have you in that call. What is the difference between comfort and plus fabric? That's a good question, bringing us already to next.
Yes, so what you see here basically is actually the plus fabric line. So all the mesh, we haven't talked about it yet.
We will jump to that, but already good.
Is really only in the plus fabric. Also in the plus fabric line, you have a wider range of choice of colors.
Yeah.
And the comfort is a more, let's say, not with mesh, not equipped with the mesh fabric, a more comfy, simple fabric, and only also comes in a reduced choice of colors.
Absolutely. I would say let's answer this question really detailed. So this kind of mesh fabric that you get in the plus version is really that breathable topic that we added to the solution. So as we already said, we are trying to see, okay, how can we make car seats even more comfortable and safe for the little ones? And we have already seen all the safety topics that we added to this wonderful product. Also, a lot of comfort is in there. And with the mesh fabric, there's just pretty much everywhere where your little one is located, does a lot to them. We have a little video. Let's maybe start the video to explain it.
Let's start with the video and then walk through the product later. Maybe we can see that second video on the breathability. Yes, thank you.
This is an awesome video showing a 3D animation of that nice fabric.
So here you see the spacer fabric, actually how it works. So we have some filaments in there that keep the distance, and then how the air and also temperature will basically evaporate. So the whole principle, we run the video again. It's a mesh fabric, top layer, and some spacer fabric. And not only the top layer is 6 times more permeable than usual fabric, but also basically the whole spacer fabric always keeps air channels. Maybe one last time. So temperature and air can actually move away from the child. Works on the principle of cooling by evaporation. That's the trick. Thank you for showing the video. Maybe
let's jump back to the product. Yeah. So, for example, if you receive it towards your home, you can already feel this kind of 3D mesh fabric. If you punctual, just put a little bit pressure with one finger onto this 3D mesh fabric, you can already feel that you completely can push it onto the fabric which is behind. But if you use a larger surface like the full hand and you try to put some pressure onto it, you will not go against the fabric. So that means, as you have seen in that video, you always will have a little gap between the body of the child and the fabric behind of that car seat, where air circulation is going on and is cooling down more or less the little one sitting in there. And it's a fantastic feature. Looking forward to summertime. Yeah, hopefully coming.
Yes, it is. So that you already described in quick terms, let me repeat again. So
yes.
basically, first of all, the top layer allows some basically air and moisture and so on to go in. Then we have that even here with the supported with the top line stitchings, some extra channels. The principle of this spacer fabric we explained already to you. But on top of that, we have also integrated a lot of, let's say, free space into the seat itself. So actually the warmth and the air could really go away from the child.
Let's bring you guys out from your living room closer to us into the showroom to show that detail. I really want to see you that a little bit closer, because then I can easily, and Bernhard can easily explain it towards you.
So we spoke about it, already about it. We also saw it in the animation. Basically, around the LSP, we have some, let's say, area where air can flow through. But if you have a closer look in that area, basically the whole backrest of the seat is already allowing significant space. So actually what happens here, the warmth and everything, can really go away and move out of here and evaporate.
So we have an all-round air ventilation going on in the Solution T iFix.
All-round air ventilation, yes.
That's really cool. And may you think, okay, why do I need that all? If we would have a normal, not breathable backrest or hard parts in that car seat, that would mean if air just stays in position, it will obviously warm up. So already behind the fabrics, there's a lot of heating going on, which is uncomfortable and let the little ones sweat. So this is covered with all the air ventilation we have in the back and as well here next to the LSP. And on top of that, we even have more air ventilation going on inside of the fabrics.
Exactly.
How can you be more comfortable than that?
I don't know. I think it's really the best we can do right now. I mean, it's not only looks so great, it really carries a lot of function and safety.
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely.
What do we have? There's another question.
We have another question. Stefan. Stefan is asking a question. Thank you for that. Thanks for joining. For you guys, maybe just joined right now, we have a chat room available where all the experts are sitting and waiting for your questions to come in. We are more than happy to answer them. A lot of the question, as you can see, will be directly transported to us, and we answer them here directly in that live call. So Stefan is asking, why is the seat better than a simple booster cushion? That's a good question.
Oh yeah, I know the challenge. Thanks for the question. It's a fair question. Especially if you travel a lot, it's always you sometimes don't have the space actually to carry such a big seat and so on.
Yeah.
But it's really worth it. So a booster cushion basically helps only a little bit. A booster cushion would be some system,
just this part,
basically
right?
only the lower part.
Yeah.
The only thing it actually does, which is at least some part, but really not
that
sufficient,
part
is to keep the belt in place, so the hip belt portion in place.
Yeah.
However, we have spoken about side crash.
Yeah.
You know, there's literally no protection for your child.
Nothing.
In a side crash if you only have a booster cushion.
Yeah.
So that bit up here really does a lot in safety. So it's that, plus also the belt guiding of the shoulder belt. If you don't have a backrest and a headrest that grows with the child, also the shoulder belt portion will be possibly in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into details of crash tests, but it's really important. You switch from an integral system that is a harness or an impact shield of the second seat now into the vehicle belt seat restraint system. And that's a system that's built for adults, not necessarily for children. And it's so important to really place the belt in the right position, actually on the hip bone structures. This is why you need the hip belt positioning first of all, but also the shoulder belt. Just imagine if the child is too small. In the cars, usually you have a fixed position, and it's also here made for adults. So if this is in the wrong place and the belt basically runs across the neck or even the face, if the child is too small, you can imagine that it's not really safe. And this is a safety product.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
A booster cushion might be okay for a regulatory point of view, but it's absolutely not sufficient if you strive for safety.
Yes, and as we know, and you guys even better than me, what are the most accidents happening out there? Most of the times, on the first place, it's a frontal crash.
Exactly.
But it's followed right after with a sidal crash. So these are the really mandatory things we have to look at to make sure that the little ones are safe for any kind of accident. So this is why a high back booster is so important. I already heard we got another question. I really love it. Thank you for that, guys.
More questions. Keep
using the chat room. So it's coming from Martin. Thank you very much for joining, Martin. I hope you have a wonderful time and you enjoy the show. Can you show reclining headrest again? Yes, for sure. I mean, it's the
You want
most
to do it,
mandatory
or
topic.
should I do
Go
it?
ahead, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
love
show
it. I will do it. So this is the upright position.
Let's bring the camera closer, as we already received the question a second time. So it seems like you guys really want to see this topic on that wonderful car seat. And in my opinion, it's really the best we have.
Exactly. So this is the upright position, which you will use if you really, you know, you're awake, you have a focused ride, you want to have some support on the back of the head. But if you know it's for a longer journey, you just recline it and see how much it moves.
It's
Literally,
so easy.
with that extra cushioning here, which is also so,
Yeah.
I like the design as well, you really see how it moves backwards. And it's such a nice, comfy feature,
Yeah.
next to the safety, of course, that we spoken about earlier. Up to 7 times higher safety
Safetiness.
values if the head remains in the safety zone. So for Martin, once again, I hope you can see.
I hope you can see it. If not, come a bit closer. That's really a fantastic feature. It seems so, okay, why is that so mandatory? But it totally makes sense. And also having seen the video, which we just showed a couple of minutes ago, there you can really understand that we have a bigger opportunity for the little ones, whenever they sit in and they fall asleep, that they are tilting towards the back. And for us, it is so important to be, as you already said and explained fairly nice, that they stay in the safety zone. Because whenever they are out of the safety zone and we have a sidle crash happening, the head is completely free.
Yes.
And this is something we don't want to have.
It's about the center of gravity, actually,
Yeah.
to make sure the center of gravity is behind the spine level, and therefore the head will fall
Yeah.
more likely backwards than forwards.
Yes.
Martin, I
let's
hope
have a
that
look at
answers
the
your
video
question.
again.
Should we look at the video
Yes,
again?
let's look at the video
Okay.
again. Because, I mean, that's our wonderful feature having
Okay,
in
run
the
it.
Solution T iFix.
Okay.
It's so simple. We could talk about that one for hours, to be honest, guys. So Bernhard, maybe you explain
Yes,
it. We
so
can
we
also
have
pause the video if
the
needed.
split screen on the top, you see actually what happens if the head is outside. It's really a direct impact into the door. If it's lower, actually, then in the lower screen you saw, and we will see again, that it's actually really completely protected the head. So the headrest and the whole system practically takes the whole forces, and you have really only little impact on the child. Up to 7 times safer.
That is a wonderful feature. As already explained, I enjoyed. I have so many photos taken already with my little ones because exactly that happened. We reclined
stop the
the
video.
headrest and they were tilting towards the back into the safety zone.
Yes,
So,
good.
perfect.
I hope that's covered again. If
Yes.
there's more questions,
Hey, if there are
Keep them
more
coming.
questions coming in, please use the chat room functionality. We have a lot of experts already answering all the coming questions, and they will be transported towards us, and we have it directly in that live call. Thanks for joining, and let's have a look at the Solution T again. What have we already covered? A lot of safety, which seems of combining everything. We have the sidle crash with the LSP, we have the side protection in the shell itself, we have the headrest, which make sure that the head will always stay in position in that safety zone. We have a lot of comfort. I mean, this is also a really big topic for parents. Is it comfortable? Yes, with the recline, because they are tilting towards the back. A lot of breathability, the all-round breathability in that car seat. What else could we miss? And the growing into the width. Thank you. I missed already something. There are so many features in such a wonderful product. So
in such a beautiful
absolutely.
product, yeah.
One thing we are also always looking at is to install a car seat easily, so that makes it for you easy to install it into the car, and as well easy to install or to fix the little one sitting inside of the solution, for example. How do we solve this with the Solution T?
So basically, as mentioned earlier, we switch now into the mode of a 3-point vehicle belt. And also this is the age where many children really start to basically buckle up themselves. Few things to mention for you as a parent to look at is make sure that basically the hip belt portion really goes through the right area, so down here. And also make sure to tighten up.
Tighten it up, yeah.
So there's very often some seat belt slack accidentally, and it will really help to tighten up. Now this is what you do. And of course the shoulder belt will go through here.
Yeah.
And if you adjust the headrest to the right level, it will be in the right position.
Yeah.
The seat itself can be used with or without ISOFIX. I think many of you know already these kind of anchorage attachment possibilities into the car. But if you don't have this, you can also use the seat.
You could still use it, yeah.
With the 3-point belt only. But if you have it, use it. It helps to the seat to be stable in the car. It's a clean and stable position if you use the ISOFIX.
Totally. So there you can see it's fairly simple to install. It's the ISOFIX. If you have one, you just click it in. Most of the times you already know that because of the previous car seat you used, or it's easy to explain. And you can also use it without the ISOFIX. Only make one thing sure, to have it aligned through that little horns or alignment down here, and make sure it's really tightened up. Yeah.
Yes.
We have another question. I like
Beautiful.
it. A lot of going on in the chat room. This question is from Maria, by the way. Hi Maria, nice to have you in our live event. Until which age does my child need to sit in a car seat? Good question. I would say we talk about the solution, so let's use this age range.
Yes, I guess it's about that. So generally, my personal view is, and it's a kind of expert opinion, as long as possible.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, of course, there's legal boundaries that you need to do, but really just use it as long as possible, as long as you feel it still fits, because it will always add value.
Yeah.
But of course, legally, depending on the country you live in, there's also legal, let's say, boundaries. So up to 12 years, 150 centimeters, that's the German regulation. In other European countries, it's up to 135 centimeters. But that's, again, only the legal boundaries. As long as you can use it, I really strongly suggest to use it, because it's
definitely
helping.
Yeah, it's a safety article, so see it that way. I mean, comfort is something we always need to add on. I think we covered this perfectly with the solution. Think about the safetiness, because this is why this car seat is built up, to protect your little ones in case you have an accident, right? Perfect. I think we have covered so far a lot of things regarding the Solution T iFix. Thanks again to Maria, to Martin, to Stefan, to Cornelia for asking those questions. Still, the chat room is there. Use the option to ask all of your questions. We have the experts sitting there, more than happy to answer everything you have. So use this functionality right now. We are closely coming to an end. There's one thing to add on. The Solution T iFix comes in wonderful colors. Yeah, if you want to see the beauty of all of them, just use the opportunity to click onto our website. You will see all the different colors. I think this is most of the times the biggest obstacles you have in front of you. Which color should we use? Hey, they are all beautiful. You will definitely find you one. Bernhard, is there anything else you want to talk about? I think we're coming to an end, right?
We have to keep something for the next time, and I have already some ideas for the next sessions.
so
maybe we stop here today.
Yes. Guys, again, it was really awesome to have you in this live event. Use the chat functionality. We will still be open even if you don't see us in the picture any longer. The experts will rest in the chat room for the next 15 minutes. They are more than happy to answer all of your questions coming in. And even after this, there is an opportunity to even ask more questions. They will let you know how to do this. Bernhard, thank you very much for being here with me to explaining this wonderful product. I hope you enjoyed it. We see you next time. Have a wonderful evening.
Yes, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.